Hey, guys, it's room vlog time.
I have hair in my mouth.
Gross.
Oh, gross.
It's a great start to this video. So we asked ourselves a really important question today. Not a question of the universe, but an important question. We asked, should we shower before or after the video? Clearly, we decided
was
after.
Yep.
A couple things we want to address before we start today's room vlog video. One, every single person ever has been asking me about my necklace. It's not a TARDIS necklace. This is a Chinese symbol. I think it's happiness. I think it's a symbol for happiness. Right? I don't know. I can't remember. My mom got it for me in China, and this is purple jade. So yes, not a TARDIS, but thanks for all the compliments on my necklace. The second question was, someone asked something very important about last
Speaking of TARDISes.
Wait, no, not that. More importantly, first, So our last video was about why the chicken crossed the road, and my brother had a very insightful idea about he was following his wife, who was their son Brian's mom, obviously. Someone asked a very important question: why did Brian's mom cross the street? Which brings us right back to the beginning of the story.
I have no idea.
I think we just debunked my brother's theory. Anyway, today's question of the universe is: can you explain time and why we set the clocks back? The funny thing about this question is that there is a real answer.
There is. And I think it's about farmers.
We have no idea what the real answer is, so we're going to try.
Yeah. Well, time is... I always picture time like you're on a bridge, and the bridge is falling away behind you, and as you're running forward, it's built up in front of you.
Okay.
But that's how, like, sort of we feel like we're in time.
So it's like Temple Run,
basically. It's basically time is like Temple Run.
Okay.
And then occasionally you fall off.
Yeah, I get attacked by demon monkeys. Okay, anyway. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I know time is like a fabric or something, right?
Yeah, it's like
plaid.
It's like velvet. Okay, so picture that we are cave women and we're living back in the prehistoric ages. Say we're the only two people that, like, you know, there's obviously other cave people, but it's just like me and you.
It's just us.
Living in a cave.
We're sharing a cave.
And obviously
Roommates.
we see that, like, the sun rises and sets, and, you know, we, like, chisel things out of rock and wear, like, leopard print loincloth type
cheetah
outfits.
print.
Okay, so what would make us think, like, what about life would make us think we need to...
Seasons and the sun and
like,
moon, like the sun, the cycles of, like, nature.
Probably we'd start to see patterns.
Yeah.
So we'd be like, okay, well, the sun rises and sets seemingly on this, like, rhythmic schedule.
Yeah. Yeah. Day and night.
And then, yeah, it, like, snows and is sunny and warm on a schedule.
And then the moon does the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what the moon
Tides.
does.
Like
With tides. Doesn't the moon, like, circle us? So
Yes.
when the moon circles us,
Yes.
and that's a month, right?
And that's why we have the different phases of the moon.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
Exactly.
think that in the beginning of time, people probably saw these patterns and wanted a way to map them. So I could totally see coming up with some unit. I know in math they're always like, you know, make sure you label your units. So you need some sort of unit to be measuring this time.
Label your units.
Shut up.
Good advice for life.
Yep. So they would find some way to find a unit of measurement to figure out these patterns.
Like the day and the month.
Exactly.
And then the year would be...
So they probably, I mean, I could see them sort of like, I could see it starting with the day. And
definitely
then realizing, oh, there's seasons and a year, and then maybe going backwards and breaking it down from there. We're like, okay, well, what's smaller than a day?
Yeah.
Okay, let's break it up into these, like, 24 things.
Yeah.
And how do you break up that hour shorter into minutes?
And there's lots of different types of calendars, too, right? Like, there's, like, the Chinese calendar, and, like, obviously, like, the Mayan and Egyptian calendars.
Yeah, and, like, even, like, our bodies.
Slightly different.
Our bodies are on cycles, too, you know? So there's all these patterns. Why do you think we are so obsessed with, like, labeling and documenting? And, how would life be different if we just didn't care about that kind of stuff, do you think?
I think people, like, the same reason why people take pictures and, like, writing down things. It's I think it makes you feel like you've done something or, like, been through something.
That's true.
Because if you don't, like, measure anything, then it's all solely emotional, like, your past. And people don't like that sometimes.
And I think it's, like, even just as productive human beings, I feel like in the amount of, like, in the spans of a day, we sort of have a mental concept of how much work you should do and how much, you know, you should eat 3 times, you should sleep this much, you should accomplish this much work, you should watch this much TV. And I feel like we'd either not do as much or we'd do a lot more. I think we'd have a different
Mhm.
value system on how much we should accomplish if we weren't able to break it down into days. Because
Yeah,
sometimes,
definitely.
sometimes I definitely feel like I should be working harder, but I'm like, well, I've already worked for 6 hours today. That's fine. But if I wasn't looking at it in terms of a day, I don't think that I would have the same feelings about it. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be weird. I feel like you'd still start thinking of it as a day because, like, honestly, like, I work at home. I don't have to, like, go to work every day.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much, like, it's measured, like, the days are, like, I barely know what days of the week it is sometimes. It's just, like,
Yeah.
light time, dark time.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Like, during the dark time mostly.
Mm-hmm. I think also holidays. If you think about it, like there's obvious ones, you know, like Christmas comes when it's snowy or whatever, but there's these holidays that come every year, and we would only know that
if we had a yearly schedule.
because I feel like, you know, okay, say back in caveman time, say like there was this other person living with us, and they went out and they like killed a boar, and they brought the boar back, and we would spend that day celebrating that they killed a boar for us, but we wouldn't make an official like celebrate the guy who killed the boar for us day that would happen reoccurringly.
Unless we knew and had a calendar.
Otherwise, it'd be totally arbitrary,
yeah.
you know?
It'd be like next time the moon's full or something, you know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, interesting.
Daylight savings time has to do with farming, I think, or originally did. That's all I know. Because I think farmers had to get up and it was dark and they stubbed their toes or something.
Isn't it something like, I always sort of abstractly thought of it like pi, like you can't make a full circle, so there's like this extra number that goes on. Oh, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was actually just thinking leap year. I got them confused. Yes, yeah, that's how that works. Daylight savings time.
Some states don't do it, I think. Or
that's super weird to me. Yeah. Some states don't do it. Some countries don't do it. But I think in general, daylight savings time, it's like, you know, there's no. They make they make the calendar work really well, except it's like, well, there's no way to make sure that we have the maximum amount of sunlight all year.
Yeah, yeah,
so it's
exactly.
Like, okay, well, we have to adjust
because it changes a lot. Do you have daylight savings time?
Does
in
everyone
your country
do daylight savings time? And also, I know that the UK does daylight savings time at a different time than us. So, like, I remember, you know, sometimes we're 8 hours apart and sometimes we're 7 hours apart, depending on the daylight savings time situation.
I know people have thought about like abolishing it now that we don't have like need for it exclusive, like, because before it really was people had to get out and like do their job and like farm and stuff early in the morning, I think, and so that's why they did it. But now it's like nobody needs daylight to do anything.
We have lights and it's not a big deal. And it's really confusing and annoying.
I think we should do away with it.
Let's get rid of daylight savings time. Okay, this is just a really long video. Okay. Yep.
Bye.